Hello. Um, so you know me by now. It's Kai. Yeah, so we are officially at 6 months on T today. Half a year. That's crazy. Um, Very exciting. I kind of feel like in terms of physical changes, not a whole lot has happened in the past month or so. Like there seemed to be a lot of changes around month 5. I started getting like a lot more facial hair coming in. My eyebrows have actually thickened, which is cool. Um, my hair has like a coarser texture. My face isn't as oily. I've been getting some not super great like chest and back acne. Um, and in terms of body hair, I don't really know. Like, I haven't, it comes in faster, but I haven't noticed a whole lot of change in that, mostly because I shave it every other day, just like as a personal preference thing. Um, my Adam's apple is still chilling, still just doing its thing. Um, yeah, so like physical changes, there hasn't really been a whole lot that's been happening. Um, my chest tissue continues to change. Like the skin on my chest, like it kind of just looks like I had boobs, but they lost their zest for life. Like they were like, oh, you don't want us here anymore. Okay, I guess I'll just go die now. And that's kind of how they look at this point, which is funny. But in relation to that, um, I thought that if I put my stuff into like my endocrinologist and my GP, and then that got faxed off, that was like it, like that was all I had to do for top surgery. But apparently, you have to go through the steps, and I was just dumb and didn't think that that was a thing that you have to do yourself. So I was like waiting, and hadn't heard anything back. So I contacted the clinic in Montreal, and then they were like, yeah, so here's the things you have to fill out for us. Um, because the stuff that I filled out was mostly just for like coverage within my province. Yeah, so I filled that out and sent it off, and I had to uh, send off a bunch of documents that were like signed by me, and I had to go over like my doctor, and I had to go over like a healthcare form that he filled out with me, just saying like my previous uh, healthcare stuff. And all that is really good. I'm all like within a very low risk range. The only thing that was like slightly concerning is that at one point a few years ago I had a heart palpitation, but I was also under a lot of stress at the time. But he couldn't detect anything, so that should be okay. Um, And I think the most intimidating part about that whole process is that I had to uh, take 3 pictures of my chest, and so one on the front and one on each of the sides. So it was like a little bit intimidating having to send over uh, like medical nudes, even though they see this every day, and that's kind of the point. But it just like felt really funny having to do that. But yeah, I mean, otherwise, not a whole lot has happened. Everything has, I think it's like so slow that I don't notice it, but I'm gonna go back and look at like my first video after recording this one, and I'll probably be like, oh fuck, because that's what I do every month, and I'm like, nothing's happened, and then I'll go look at it and realize that a lot has actually happened. Uh, yeah, thicker hair, thicker eyebrows, more facial hair, uh, face shape has changed. Um, God, I'm so all over the place this morning. The Yeah, my school has now changed my name on like all my documents, so that's really exciting. I'm going to New Zealand in for the first 2 weeks of May, which is also very exciting. So I'm hoping that everything with like my passport is okay with that. I was talking to other trans people online who said that they didn't like have a problem as long as like the name on your passport matches your boarding pass. They're perfectly okay with that, and I'll just like shave my face before I go, and it should be fine. Most people like, well, like at my workplace and stuff too. I have to have a talk with like the person that I'm working alongside right now because um, she seems to think that I'm female, which is really funny. Because my voice is pretty deep and I have facial hair. But anyway, we'll talk. We'll have the trans talk, I guess. And but she's really cool. I'm getting along with her really well. And and it's like I don't really know how people read me. I've stopped going into like gendered washrooms altogether. Like I'll either just like hold it and wait until I get home, or I will only use gender neutral washrooms, which my school has a bunch of, so that's really good. Um, and I have settled into my name, and I'm comfortable with telling everyone to call me Kai, and I don't have to explain it ever. Um, like most people are just like, yep, that's your name. The pronouns thing is a little bit tricky because people see me differently. Some people read me as female, some people read me as male. Some people don't know how to read me, so they just look confused. Um, but yeah, I'm pretty excited to be here right now at the 6 month mark because it's usually the point where you kind of start looking like yourself. And a lot of trans trans men that I've been following for years around 6 months, I was like, whoa, there's a lot of changes there. And they kind of start becoming more comfortable, which is definitely how I'm feeling now. Um, and like anything that I can do to induce euphoria, I have been. It hasn't all been easy because it's this funny thing where sometimes where I'll have some changes, uh, like as I start to match my internal image more externally, I start to notice other things that I'm like, oh, like that's not quite right. And so a lot of stuff has been um, body focused. Like I have a lot more mental clarity. I feel a lot calmer. I don't feel like my emotions are as all over the place as they had been before. Oh, my period stopped. I didn't actually realize it at first because I had like 1 month back in November. Like my last cycle, like my last true cycle was in October. And then I had like a little bit of like cramping and like a tiny bit of spotting or whatever in November. But then December was like gone and I completely forgot about it until one of my friends who we traditionally like matched up or whatever uh, was like, oh yeah, period week, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh shit, I don't have mine. I don't have my period. It's gone. It's gone. And then I thought back to what my last one was, and I was like, it's basically October, and then a little bit in November, but nothing for December and January. So that's super exciting. um, will not be sad about that leaving. And yeah, so like as things are kind of matching up a little bit more, there's other things that I've been thinking about, and like I don't know, like even like I'm gonna get through the top surgery first. And before I was like, yeah, no hysterectomy, yada yada yada. But as time kind of goes on, and I've like looked at some of the complications of being on T and like not having a hysterectomy and stuff, like the surgery itself it's like a pretty intensive abdominal surgery. It's much more intense than like top surgery is. Uh, but there's also risks that come along with that, and then you can also be on a lower dose of T and yada yada yada. So I've been thinking about that. a little bit and stuff too, at some point down the road, not anytime now. I'm just trying to get through one surgery at a time. And it might be like 2 years or something. My strength has increased again. Going to the gym pretty consistently. I'm getting little shoulders on me, a little bit more broad, a little bit more muscular, which is pretty exciting. I'm not going to show them off because it's a little embarrassing. It's not enough to flaunt yet for sure, but it's coming along. Yeah, that's it. Hope you guys are all having a good day, week, month, and yeah, I'll see you next month or something. Bye.